Hi, Scott Orlin with Cinema Magazine. A new film is coming your way called Mank, and I'm here with one of the stars, Charles Dance. Charles, you are playing probably one of the most powerful and quintessential figures in the 20th century. And sadly, there's a whole generation that has no clue who William Randolph Hearst even was. So, if
Right.
you
Yeah.
were to kind of have to qualify, what made this man so intriguing?
Well, he was one. He was fabulously wealthy. He was extremely generous. Um, he was also very powerful in California, in America generally. He was a kind of a cross between Rupert Murdoch and Donald Trump. But I think he had more style than both of them. But his power and influence was such that Orson Welles and Herman Mankiewicz used him as the basis for Kane in their film The Citizen Kane. He was a very, very prominent figure in America in the late 20s and really up until the time he died, which was sometime in the 50s, early 60s.
I'm sure there's historical footage. Did you want to seek any out to just pick up little mannerisms of
Well,
maybe?
very interesting. I scoured the net for historical footage. There's a lot of stills photographs. I've read a couple of very informative books about him. I could only find one clip with him speaking, and he was actually making a speech, so it was very forced. There was nothing particularly natural about it. And for a man of his size, he actually had quite a high voice. It was a very strange combination because he was quite bulky. Physically, I bear no resemblance to him whatsoever. He had this rather strange arrangement with his hair, which we managed to achieve by virtue of a wig. And I listened to the cadence of his voice. But you know, as you know from the film, it's a biopic of Herman Mankiewicz. Everybody else, we're an ensemble. So although I'm playing one of the most powerful figures and influential figures of America at that time, I'm very much part of the ensemble. So my contribution, though I hope it's significant, is not huge.
You talk about powerful and significant figures. You're under the tutelage of one while you're making this movie, David Fincher. You
Yes,
actually worked with him on Aliens 3 or 4, I think, which, years ago.
yes.
What makes him an interesting director from an actor's perspective?
Well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of his, right? And I don't say that about all directors that I've worked with. But when I first worked with David, which is 30 years ago now or more, the minute he walked onto the set and started to talk, I thought, right, this guy is clever. And I mean, he'd done a couple of Nike commercials and a video for Madonna, I believe. And this was his first feature film. And he is such an impressive guy. He's a filmmaker from the top of his head to the soles of his feet. And I think he's a genius. I really do. He's a demanding genius. And as we get into double figures on takes, we all start to moan as actors, and think, how many more times are we going to do this? But,
What was the most
you
you had
know,
to do?
25, 30. Yeah. But, I mean, the moaning is only minimal because you know perfectly well that the end result is going to be a really, really good film. I think he's a fabulous director. And every time I worked with him, and well, this is the second time I worked with him, but I think every scene we did, every setup, I see something else, and I think, oh, I'm learning another thing here. He's an incredible filmmaker.
And just really quick, was there anything from Game of Thrones you took as a memento?
Yeah, I was given two of the crossbow bolts that killed me when I was sitting on the lavatory.
What grandchild wouldn't want that from their grandparent? Perfect.
Absolutely.
Charles, thank you so much. The movie is called Mank, and this is Scott Orlin. Until next time.
Thank you, Scott. Auf Wiedersehen.
Thanks.